Welcome to the new episode of Milan Soccer Club. I'm your host Alice, and we are in the day after Como versus Milan. AC Milan won 1-3, so let's get right into it, because this wasn't just any old football match. Nope, this was something else entirely. It was a story about the art of the perfect heist. So you see that score, 3-1, looks pretty straightforward, right? A clear, decisive win for Milan. But let me tell you, that number, it doesn't even begin to tell the real story of what happened out there on the pitch. In fact, it's almost a complete lie. I mean, how else do you describe it? Some people are calling it a furto con scasso. That's Italian for a burglary, a full-on break-in. Think about it. Milan gets the 3 points, but Como gets all the applause. It just doesn't add up, right? So how on earth do this happen? Well, to understand the heist, first you gotta understand what was stolen. And what was stolen was the game itself. For huge chunks of this match, the game belonged completely, 100%, to Cesc Fabregas's Como. And let me tell you, they played some absolutely beautiful, stunning football. It's hard to even put into words how dominant they were. I mean, it was staggering. For that whole first half, Como looked like they were in a different league entirely. They had total control of the pitch, their passing was so fluid, so crisp, they just completely took Milan apart. People were calling it a football massacre, and honestly, that's not an exaggeration at all. And this quote right here from their coach Cesc Fabregas, it tells you everything you need to know about their whole philosophy. In Italy, they call it giochismo, basically the beautiful game. It's this idea that how you play, the art of it, is just as important as the result. Maybe even more important. Okay, so that's one side of the coin. While Como was out there painting a masterpiece on the pitch, Milan was busy planning the heist. Their game was the complete opposite. It wasn't pretty, but man, was it pragmatic, resilient, and just brutally effective. And that brings us to Milan's coach, Massimiliano Allegri, and his philosophy. People call it Allegrismo or risultatismo. It's pretty simple, really. Results first. It's not about looking good. It's not about aesthetics. It's about finding a way, anyway, to win the game, even if it's ugly. So how did they pull it off? Here's the game plan, step by step. First, just resist. Soak up all that pressure, bend but do not break. Second, you rely on pure individual brilliance. And Mike Mignon in goal, he was unbelievable, making save after save to keep them alive. Then, when you get your chance, you strike. You have to be surgical. Adrien Rabiot was just so clinical, turning these tiny chances into goals. And finally, you seal the deal. You wait for them to make a mistake and you pounce. It's like this. Milan was the anvil. They just sat there and took it, blow after blow after blow from Como. They absorbed everything. And then, when the time was right, bam! They became the hammer. So what we ended up with was this perfect storm, a real-life experiment. What happens when two football philosophies that are complete polar opposites crash into each other on the same pitch? You've got Fabregas and his giochismo on one side. It's all about beauty, high possession, dominating the game. That's the purest dream, right? And then on the other side, you've got Allegri's risultatismo. It's just about results, hanging in there, and being absolutely lethal when you get a chance. That's the pragmatist's way to win. And listen to Fabregas again, he lays it out perfectly. He says, if you just love watching good football, you'd say Como wins this game 8 out of 10 times. And you know what? He's not wrong. Based on pure quality, on who played the better football, they should have won. No question. But, and this is the huge but, this wasn't just some lucky fluke. This is what Allegri's Milan does. It's who they are. This is their brand. They have made an art form out of winning games just like this. Games where they get completely outplayed. It's their formula for success. And all of this, it really makes you step back and think, doesn't it? It makes you ask a way bigger question. Is there only one right way to win a game of football? Or is the whole point, the whole beauty of it, that there are so many different ways to get it done? So what do we take away from all this? Well, first off, Milan's win was no accident. It was their philosophy working exactly as designed. Second, having a guy like Maignan in goal isn't just luck. It's a core part of the tactic. At the end of the day, Como had the beautiful play, for sure. But Milan had the grit and the clinical edge. And it just goes to show there is no single correct way to win in this sport. And that's what makes this game so amazing. Football just isn't math. You can't boil it down to possession stats or pressing charts. And Milan fans, you know this better than anyone. I mean, think about it, dominating that 2005 Champions League final only to lose, and then winning it in 2007 by playing a much tougher, less pretty style of football. It proves that the best team on paper doesn't always win. So that leaves us with the big question, the one I want you to think about. After a game like this, what's more important to you? Is it the arts, that beautiful style of play, even if it ends in a loss? Or is it the result, that cold, hard 3 points in the bag? There's no right answer, of course. And maybe that's the whole point.